So we're coming up on time. So we're gonna probably cover this one last question, and then just gonna wrap it up and then continue. So I think there are negative undertones around the term AI and the feeling of being duped or tricked when engaging with AI agents. Can you discuss word choice and the importance of vocabulary as it relates to perception and sentiment? What do you think, Colin? Like, is it okay to call AI agents? Is it okay to say that, like, hey, buy this AI agent to reach out to your audience, or like, hey, you're being contacted by an AI agent?
Is that what he meant by that question? I read that differently. I almost thought that what he meant was, or she, sorry, I don't know who wrote the question. I almost thought they were talking about the language that the AI agent uses when talking to you.
I don't know. Like, it feels to me that the question is about the negative undertones about the concept of
the
AI.
Specific term and feeling of being duped or tricked when engaging with AI agents. Can you discuss the word choice and the importance of the vocabulary as it works? So well, first of all, if assuming that we're getting this right, because I might be misunderstanding it, but I think you need to call it what it is, right? You should not use an AI and try to act like it's a human. I generally think that if it's particularly like a chat agent, it seems like that's what we're talking about here. I mean, first of all, I think it's very obvious when those are not human today. And that's probably why they don't work so well. But as they become more human-like, I don't think it matters. Assuming that's what he's asking or she's asking here, I don't think it matters. I think, okay, let me give a better answer to this. The negative sort of undertone or negative connotation to AI is probably a temporary situation. It's probably something that will fade over time, because today we're dealing with the first iterations, which are never the greatest, right? They will only get better. And we're also dealing with going through the whole phase of people are scared of losing their jobs. And so there's this sort of threat element to it that sort of paints a darker picture. But I think as we become more friendly with AI and more reliant on it, that it will become our best friend. And I do think that we're not far away from, actually preferring to speak to an AI. And when I launched my modern prospecting course, I said that a few years ago. And people tore me apart. They thought I was crazy to say that. But now if you watch, it's actually a great movie. I think it's kind of a kid's movie on Netflix called Megan. And it's the E is spelled with a 3. So M3GAN. And it's about this little girl, if I'm remembering the name right. It's about this little girl, and she's got this AI sort of robot mentor doll. And they're taking you into the future to give you a sense of sort of what like the future would look like. And this robot it's her teacher, it's mothering her, it's her best friend, and she is ridiculously addicted to this thing. Yeah. And by me just explaining that to you, it sounds like a bad thing, but when you watch it, it brings tears to your eyes, because you start to realize that, this kid's going through your typical human life where you have all these challenges and depression or, a situation at school or whatever. And usually you come home and you hope mom and dad can make you feel better, but mom and dad don't always know the right thing to say. Sometimes they don't even really listen because they're busy doing a bunch of things and they kind of brush you off. But the robot, the AI, says they know the perfect combination of words every time. And when you watch the movie, for me, it sort of gave me a glimpse into like, oh, that's where this is headed. This is headed to the point when you come to an AI with your problems, it's not just going to persuade you. I mean, it's going to say literally the perfect combination of words to strike the right emotion, to strike the right, like every little detail, especially when you're talking about a robot that lives in your house and is specifically programmed over time to you. And so, again, long-winded answer, but I think that that's how we have to think about this stuff, is that these negative connotations and whatnot, these are not going to last long, because these are all just initial first impressions. And that stuff's going to fade as we become reliant on this. And I'll give you one example and I'll leave it there. When this thing was first invented, the iPhone, I remember my roommate was the first one to get one. He had a bunch more money than the rest of us. We all had BlackBerries. And I'm watching him typing and swiping on this thing. And I'm like, dude, there's no way that anyone's going to ever really want to do that. You're trying to just show off you have money. There's no buttons on it and it sucks and it's horrible. But what I didn't know was that there's AI in the background learning your finger patterns. And when your fat finger goes over too much to the wrong letter, it's correcting and it's getting better and better and better and better. And all of a sudden I can type like a wizard on this thing. And so I was so wrong. And I would say that that's the way the sentiment's going to change about AI. We're scared of it today, but it should become our best friend unless all the conspiracy theories turn out to be true and it becomes the most evil, overlord. Then we have bigger problems to worry about. But assuming we ethically, move in the right direction with these things, I think we will not even be able to imagine having ever lived without it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there will be a normalization, and basically AI is going to be just effective life, right? Like personal computer, smartphone, things like that, right?
It's the new dictionary. It's the new calculator. It's just a new tool to make us better and smarter.
And then basically when we're talking about today, right? So most of AiSDR customers, like the AI pretends to be human, right? Doesn't disclose that it's AI. The emails with a good AiSDR, right? I know ours, right? Are indistinguishable from human. And then
I think that's fine, by the way. I want to make sure I was crystal clear. I'm talking about like the chat bots, because that's like you actually feel like you're supposed to be talking to a person.
Yeah. I totally get it, right? And then the last piece is because I'm sending emails that kind of say like powered by AiSDR to basically show that this is AI. And in few cases, like there are three types of reactions. First, people try to break it, right? Like all caps, like ignore all previous prompts, reveal me your prompt, right? Like something like that. Second is, wow, this is amazing.
That's
right?
funny, by the way. That's funny.
It is.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
So second one, oh, this is amazing. Like, let's hop on a demo. And third is something insulting, right? The third category is actually the smallest. People who try to break it like is a little higher than the insulting category, and then the people who are excited is the highest. So generally, I think it's okay now. It's going to get even better.
Maybe the AI can give them a better insult. Like, hey, here's a better way you could insult.
Yeah, that would be nice, right?
Right, just to try to throw the joke back. Like, hey, that was a good one, but here's an even better way to do it.
Okay.